The smell of freshly baked cornbread and slow-cooked ribs danced through the warm, inviting air of Harlem Roots, the most beloved soul food restaurant in town. It was a place where jazz hummed softly from the speakers, laughter echoed through the walls, and the flavors brought people together. But on one particular Friday afternoon, something happened that no one who witnessed it would ever forget. It started with a smile. Malik Carter, a tall man in his early 40s, wore his signature blue apron and a welcoming grin as he moved from table to table, checking on customers like he always did. He didn't just serve food, he served stories, community, and warmth. Known to many as Big M, Malik had built Harlem Roots from the ground up, using his grandmother's recipes and his mother's lessons in grace and resilience. It took 10 years of hard work, sleepless nights, and lone rejections before Harlem Roots finally stood as a neighborhood staple. To those who knew him, Malik wasn't just the owner, he was the heartbeat of the place. But not everyone sees with the eyes of respect. That afternoon, two men walked in, glancing around with a mixture of confusion and disdain. They were out-of-towners, dressed in expensive casual wear, looking like they'd just stepped out of a luxury golf club. Their names were Greg and Lucas, businessmen from a southern firm in town for a conference. They stood at the entrance a bit too long, ignoring the hostess stand, until Malik approached with his usual calm demeanor. "Afternoon, gentlemen. Welcome to Harlem Roots. Just the two of you today?" he asked warmly. Greg's face twisted into a sneer. "Yeah. We're just here to try some of this exotic cooking," he said with mock emphasis, chuckling to Lucas. Lucas, barely hiding his smirk, added, "Hope you guys don't overspice everything. Don't want to blow our taste buds out before dinner." Malik's smile didn't fade, though it thinned slightly. "We do things the southern way here. I'm sure you'll enjoy it." He led them to a booth and handed over menus. As he walked away, the two men began whispering, unaware that their voices carried, not loudly, but enough. "Can't believe they let people like him run anything in this city," Greg said under his breath, shaking his head. "Bet he's just the help. Figures. They've got them everywhere now." Lucas chuckled. "He probably washes dishes or something. Did you see how he acted like he owned the place?" What they didn't notice was that they weren't alone in their booth's vicinity. A young server named Janelle, standing nearby, stiffened when she heard them. She was only 22 and new to the job, but in that moment, she had to hold herself back. Her hands tightened into fists, but she forced herself to keep moving. The sting in her chest wasn't new, she'd heard comments like that before, but hearing it said about Malik, a man she admired deeply, was different. Malik noticed her tense body language from across the room and walked over. "You okay?" he asked quietly. She nodded and leaned in, whispering what she'd heard. Malik's eyes didn't widen. His jaw didn't clench. Instead, he exhaled slowly. "Thanks, Janelle. You did the right thing." He didn't rush back to their table. He took a moment, as he always did when emotions swirled, grounding himself in the purpose of the place. Harlem Roots wasn't just a business, it was a legacy. A response to centuries of pain. And he wasn't going to let that be sullied by ignorance. Meanwhile, Greg and Lucas had started complaining about everything. The jazz music was too much, the server was too slow, and they wondered aloud if the food was even sanitary. They didn't know that almost everyone around them had grown quiet, discomfort hanging in the air like smoke. When their plates finally arrived, crispy fried chicken, mac and cheese, collard greens, and cornbread, they didn't say thank you. They barely looked at Janelle, who had decided to take the high road. Malik approached the table. "Gentlemen," he said, his voice calm but resonant. "How's everything tasting?" Greg gave a half-hearted shrug. "It's edible. I guess it's what you people call food." Lucas snorted. This time, Malik didn't walk away. "I see," he said slowly. "You know, it's funny. My grandmother used to say that when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time." The two men blinked, confused. Malik pulled up a chair and sat at the edge of the table. The energy shifted. Eyes from nearby tables turned toward them. "I'm Malik Carter," he said, resting his hand on the table. "I'm the owner of Harlem Roots. Every recipe you're tasting is mine."